At our anniversary dinner, my husband added something in my wine, so I pretended to drink while recording everything. Hello, my people. If you believe in stories that matter, subscribe and support us. And please, leave a comment with your city or country. We enjoy learning about our viewers. The candlelight flickered across Adrian's face as he smiled at me, that same smile that had captured my heart 7 years ago. Our anniversary dinner at Bellissimo's should have been perfect. The restaurant hummed with soft jazz, the scent of garlic and wine filling the air. I wore the emerald dress he'd bought me last Christmas, the one that made my brown skin glow like honey. To 7 years, baby, Adrian said, raising his glass. His eyes held something I couldn't quite read. Nervousness? Guilt? I pushed the thought away. We'd been through rough patches lately. His late nights at the office, the mysterious texts, his mother Helen's increasingly cruel comments about my inability to give him children. But tonight was supposed to be about us. 7 years, I echoed, reaching for my wine. That's when I saw it. The slightest hesitation in his movement, the way his fingers trembled as he set down his glass. Then, as I lifted my phone to capture the moment for Instagram, I caught it in the dim light. A faint residue on the rim of my glass, dissolving slowly. My blood turned to ice. Every instinct screamed danger. I'd worked as a pharmacy technician for 5 years before becoming a teacher. I knew what crushed pills looked like when they hit liquid. The way they created that slight cloudiness, that barely visible film. Adrian watched me intently, his smile frozen, waiting. In that moment, everything shifted. The man I'd loved, trusted, built a life with, was trying to drug me. My hands shook as I raised the glass to my lips, but I didn't drink. Instead, I tilted my phone slightly, hitting record while pretending to take a photo of our table. Perfect, I whispered. He had no idea what I meant. The wine glass felt like poison in my hand as I held it near my lips, tilting it just enough to wet them without actually drinking. Adrian's eyes never left my face. I could see the anticipation building, the way his jaw tightened, his fingers drumming against the white tablecloth. You okay, baby? I asked, my voice steady despite my racing heart. You seem nervous. Just want tonight to be special, he said, his voice too smooth, rehearsed. Drink up. I ordered your favorite Pinot Noir. Cost me $200 for that bottle. The price detail felt like manipulation, pressure to consume what he'd invested in. I pretended to take another sip, letting wine touch only my lips before setting the glass down. It's delicious. But you know me, I like to savor it slowly. His expression flickered with frustration before smoothing into another smile. Of course. Take your time. My mind raced through scenarios. Why would he drug me? What was the plan? Where would this night lead if I'd actually drunk that wine? My fingers trembled as I kept my phone angled perfectly, recording everything while appearing to browse the menu. Remember our first date? I asked, buying time, keeping him talking while evidence accumulated. You were so nervous you spilled wine all over yourself. Adrian laughed, but it sounded hollow. Yeah, and you still agreed to a second date. You've always been too forgiving, Shanice. Too trusting. The words hit like a slap. Too trusting. Was that how he saw me? As someone easily manipulated? Rage bubbled beneath my forced calm, but I smiled sweetly. That's what love is, isn't it? Trust. Sure, he said, checking his watch. Exactly. His impatience was showing. 20 minutes into our dinner, I saw them. Adrian's mother Helen swept through the restaurant entrance like she owned it, her designer dress screaming money we didn't have. Behind her came Adrian's younger brother Caleb and his wife Anna. All of them were heading straight toward our table. What the hell? The words escaped before I could stop them. Adrian didn't even look surprised. Oh, I forgot to mention, I invited them to join us for dessert. Family's important, right? My stomach dropped. This wasn't spontaneous. He'd planned this. He wanted me drugged before they arrived. What sick game was this? Adrian, it's our anniversary, I said, my voice strained. Just us. That's what we agreed. Helen reached our table before he could respond, her perfume overwhelming, her expression cold despite her smile. Shanice, darling. Still wearing that old dress? I thought Adrian bought you something new. The insult was deliberate, calculated to embarrass me in public. Caleb smirked while Anna looked away uncomfortably. She was the only decent one in his family, always caught between loyalty and conscience. Good to see you too, Helen, I said through gritted teeth, my phone still recording under the table. I needed them all on camera now. Whatever was happening involved more than just Adrian. Shanice was just about to finish her wine, Adrian said pointedly, gesturing to my nearly full glass. Weren't you, baby? All eyes turned to me. The pressure was suffocating. Helen's cold smile, Caleb's expectant expression, even Anna's worried glance. They all knew something I didn't. This was orchestrated, rehearsed. Actually, I'm feeling a bit warm, I said, standing abruptly. I need to use the restroom. Order whatever you want. Adrian's hand shot out, gripping my wrist. Finish your wine first. The command in his voice made my blood run cold. I yanked my wrist free, my voice sharp enough to cut. Don't tell me what to do, Adrian. The nearby tables glanced over, sensing tension. He released me immediately, aware of the attention. In the bathroom, I locked myself in a stall and pulled out my phone with shaking hands. The video was clear. Adrian's suspicious behavior, the drugged wine, his family's planned arrival, his aggressive insistence I drink. I quickly uploaded it to cloud storage, then sent copies to my best friend Tamika with a message. If something happens to me tonight, this is evidence. Her response came seconds later. Girl, what? I'm calling you now. Can't talk. At Bellissimo's. Adrian drugged my wine. His family showed up. Something's wrong. I'm recording everything. If I don't text by midnight, call police. I'm coming there right now. No. Stay ready. I need to see how this plays out. Trust me. My hands steadied as clarity replaced fear. I wasn't the victim in this scenario. I was the one holding all the cards. Whatever they planned wouldn't work because I hadn't consumed whatever he'd put in that wine. I splashed water on my face, reapplied lipstick, and studied my reflection. The woman staring back wasn't the naive girl who'd married Adrian at 23. I'd grown, evolved, built a career teaching special needs children. I'd survived 3 miscarriages while his mother blamed my defective womb. I'd endured his emotional distance, his mother's cruelty, his family's judgment. And now this. Attempted drugging. Coordinated family ambush. When I returned to the table, they'd ordered appetizers and were laughing like this was a normal family gathering. Helen's eyes fixed on me immediately. Feeling better? Much, I said, sliding into my seat. My wine glass had been moved slightly, closer to me, more accessible. Just needed a moment. Adrian squeezed my hand. Good. Because we have something important to discuss. We've been thinking, Helen began, her tone suggesting she'd rehearsed this speech. About your future. About Adrian's future. About the family legacy. I felt the trap closing. Caleb leaned forward, his expensive cologne invading my space. Adrian deserves better than this struggle. His talents are wasted in that cramped apartment with someone who can't even give him children. The words were designed to wound, and they did. 3 miscarriages in 5 years. Each one had shattered pieces of my soul. The last one 4 months ago had nearly destroyed me. Adrian had held me while I sobbed, promised we'd get through it together. Or so I'd thought. Caleb, that's enough, Anna said quietly, but no one listened to her. They never did. Helen continued. We have a solution. Adrian will be transitioning. He's been offered a partnership position with my company in Atlanta. He'll be moving within the month. The restaurant noise faded to background static. Moving? Without discussing it with me. It's already decided, Adrian said, his voice devoid of emotion. I need this opportunity, Shanice. I can't let you hold me back anymore. I should have been devastated. Instead, rage ignited like gasoline meeting flame. Hold you back. I put you through business school. I worked 2 jobs while you found yourself. I supported your every dream while enduring your mother's abuse and your family's disrespect. And look where that got you, Helen sneered. Childless, struggling, living paycheck to paycheck because you insisted on that ridiculous teaching job instead of something respectable. Adrian picked up my wine glass, extending it toward me. Let's just have a drink and discuss this calmly. You're being emotional. There was the gaslighting, the manipulation, the attempt to drug me into compliance. They wanted me sedated so they could control the narrative, possibly get me to sign something, make decisions while impaired. No, I said firmly. Excuse me. Adrian's eyes hardened, the mask finally slipping. This was the real him. The man I'd glimpsed in angry moments but explained away as stress, as pressure from work, as anything except the truth. I said no. I'm not drinking that wine. I'm not listening to this disrespectful conversation. And I'm definitely not letting you steamroll my life. My voice carried across nearby tables. I wanted witnesses now. Caleb laughed cruelly. You don't have a choice. Adrian is leaving regardless. You can either accept it gracefully or make it difficult. Difficult. The word tasted bitter. You mean like drugging someone's wine to make them compliant? Like ambushing them on their anniversary? Like coordinating a family intervention to destroy their marriage? Silence crashed over our table. Adrian's face drained of color. Helen's confident expression cracked. I'd said it out loud, named the poison in the room. You're paranoid, Adrian tried, but his voice wavered. Absolutely delusional. The stress has finally broken you. Has it? I pulled out my phone, no longer hiding it. Because I've been recording this entire evening. Every suspicious moment. Every cruel word. Every manipulation attempt. Including you drugging my wine. Anna gasped. Caleb's smirk vanished. Helen looked between Adrian and me, calculating. That's ridiculous, Adrian said, but sweat beaded on his forehead. You're making things up because you can't handle that I'm moving forward without you. Then drink it. I pushed the wine glass toward him. If there's nothing wrong with it, drink the wine you were so insistent I consume. Prove me wrong. The challenge hung between us. Adrian stared at the glass like it was a snake. Seconds stretched into eternity. Other diners were openly watching now, sensing drama. I don't have to prove anything, he finally said. You're clearly unstable. This is exactly why I need to leave. Unstable. The word echoed through my mind, triggering memories. 3 months ago, Adrian had suggested I see a therapist. You're not yourself, baby. Ever since the last miscarriage. 2 months ago, he'd commented on my forgetfulness. You're losing things constantly. Maybe it's depression. Last month, he'd mentioned commitment papers casually, like it was concern. If you get worse, we might need to consider a temporary facility. Now it clicked. They weren't planning to drug me for one night. They'd been planning to declare me mentally incompetent. The wine tonight was supposed to make me incoherent, possibly make me act erratically. With witnesses present, his family, they'd have testimony I was unstable, needed help, couldn't make decisions for myself. And Atlanta? There was no partnership. Or if there was, it came with contingencies. Adrian needed to be unencumbered, single, without a crazy wife dragging him down. You were going to commit me, I said, the realization making my voice shake. That's the plan. Drug me tonight, make me seem unstable in front of witnesses, then use that as justification to have me institutionalized while you leave town. Anna's hand flew to her mouth. Even she hadn't known the full extent. You're insane, Adrian hissed, but Helen's silence was confirmation enough. The matriarch wasn't denying it, just calculating damage control. What happens to our apartment? Our joint accounts? My belongings? I pressed, pieces falling into place. Let me guess, you'd gain control during my treatment. Sell everything, drain the accounts, start fresh in Atlanta while I'm locked away. This is slander, Helen finally spoke. You can't prove any of this conspiracy theory nonsense. Can't I? I stood, my voice strong despite trembling hands. I have video evidence of Adrian drugging my wine. Of this coordinated ambush. Of your son's refusal to drink that wine when challenged. Any lawyer worth their degree could subpoena that glass, test its contents. The manager appeared, sensing disruption. Is everything all right here? Actually, no, I said clearly. I need you to preserve my wine glass as evidence. My husband has tampered with it. I also need to file a police report for attempted drugging. Adrian shot to his feet. You're making a scene. Stop this right now, Shanice. Or what? You'll have me committed? Too late. I know the plan. I turned to the manager, whose expression had shifted from concern to alarm. That wine glass contains crushed pills that my husband added without my knowledge. I have video evidence. I need it preserved for law enforcement. The manager nodded curtly. I'll call the police immediately. Please don't touch anything. This is ridiculous. Helen's composure shattered. My son would never. Your son is on camera doing exactly that, I interrupted. All of you are accomplices to attempted drugging, possibly attempted fraud, definitely conspiracy to commit false imprisonment. As reality settled over them, their expressions ranged from panic to fury. Caleb looked ready to bolt. Anna was crying quietly. Adrian stood frozen, his carefully constructed plan disintegrating. 7 years, I said, my voice breaking despite my strength. I gave you 7 years of unconditional love. I supported you, defended you, sacrificed for you. I endured your mother's cruelty because I loved you. I blamed myself for our miscarriages while you planned to destroy me. Shanice, let's talk about this privately, Adrian tried, reaching for me. I stepped back. Don't touch me. Don't call me. Don't come near me ever again. Police sirens wailed in the distance. The manager had flagged them down from their patrol route nearby. As officers entered Bellisimo's, I felt something shift inside me. Not victory, not satisfaction, just profound sadness for the life I'd believed in, the man I'd thought I'd married. Officers, I need to report an attempted drugging, I said steadily. The police station fluorescent lights were harsh, unforgiving. Detective Claire Morrison sat across from me, her dark eyes assessing as I told my story again. The wine glass sat bagged as evidence between us, already tagged for laboratory analysis. Walk me through it one more time, she said gently. From the beginning. I recounted everything. Adrian's suspicious behavior, the visible residue, his insistence I drink, his family's coordinated arrival, their attempt to paint me as unstable. I showed her the video, watching her expression harden as evidence unfolded. This is premeditation, she said finally. Clear intent to incapacitate you. The question is why. I think I know. I pulled out documents I'd grabbed from our apartment during the supervised return to collect essentials. Adrian had been held for questioning while I packed. These are loan applications in my name I never signed. Credit cards I never opened. He forged my signature months ago. Detective Morrison examined them, her jaw tightening. He was stealing your identity. More than that. I showed her the property deed. Our apartment. He transferred it solely into his name last month using a notarized document with my signature. A signature I never wrote. He's been planning this for months, maybe longer. The drugging tonight was supposed to be the final step. Tamika burst through the station doors, her braids flying. Shanice. Oh my God. She wrapped me in her arms and I finally let myself cry. I'm okay, I whispered. I'm okay because I didn't drink it. If you had. Tamika couldn't finish the sentence. If I had, I'd probably be in a hospital right now, confused and disoriented, while Adrian and his family spun their narrative of my mental breakdown. They'd produced the forged documents showing me making irrational financial decisions. They'd testify to my instability. By the time I recovered enough to fight back, everything would be gone. He'll be charged with attempted poisoning, fraud, forgery, and identity theft, Detective Morrison said. His family as potential accomplices. This isn't a marriage dispute, it's organized crime. The next days blurred together. Anna showed up at Tamika's apartment where I was staying, her eyes red from crying. I didn't know, she said, her voice breaking. I swear, Shanice, I didn't know about the drugging or the forgery. I thought they just wanted to convince you to let Adrian go to Atlanta without a fight. But you knew he was leaving me, I said, the betrayal still fresh. Yes. She couldn't meet my eyes. And I'm ashamed I didn't warn you. Helen has this way of making you feel like you're betraying the family if you don't fall in line. But this, what Adrian did, it's unforgivable. He handed me a folder. These are text messages between Adrian and Helen. He was masterminding everything. The drugging was her idea. She found some guy online who sold her Rohypnol, said it would make you compliant and forgetful. My hands shook reading the messages. Helen's words were cold, calculated. Once she's incapacitated, we'll take her to county hospital. I know a doctor there who owes me favors. He'll write up a psych hold. By the time it expires, Adrian will be in Atlanta, assets secured, marriage annulled due to mental incapacity. She planned to steal my entire life, I whispered. Anna nodded. I'm testifying against them. All of them. Caleb knew too, he helped forge your signatures on the loan documents. His handwriting matches yours well enough to fool bank employees. The betrayal multiplied. Not just my husband, but his entire family had conspired to destroy me. And for what? Money? Pride? Because Helen deemed me unworthy of her son? My phone rang, my mother. Baby, I just heard. I'm on the next flight. Her voice cracked with rage and love. That boy is lucky he's in jail because I would end him myself. Mama, I'm okay, I said, though I wasn't sure if that was true. I saw it coming. I didn't drink the wine. That's my smart girl. Too smart for those evil people. The preliminary hearing was surreal. Adrian sat in defendant's clothing, looking nothing like the man I'd married. His lawyer argued it was a misunderstanding, that the alleged substance was just wine sediment, that I was vindictive over the divorce. Then the toxicology report came back. 2 milligrams of rohypnol, enough to incapacitate me for hours, possibly cause amnesia. Combined with alcohol, potentially fatal if I'd had an underlying condition. The courtroom gasped. Judge Williams's expression turned to stone. Mr. Bowman, you attempted to administer a date rape drug to your wife on your anniversary. The evidence is irrefutable. Helen's lawyer stood. Your Honor, my client maintains she had no knowledge. Save it. Judge Williams cut him off. We have text messages showing Mrs. Helen Bowman purchased the substance, planned the entire operation, and coordinated with her sons to defraud the victim. This court finds sufficient evidence to bind all defendants over for trial. Adrian finally looked at me. Not with remorse, with hatred. Pure, undiluted hatred. You ruined everything, he mouthed. I stared back, refusing to look away. You ruined yourself. After the hearing, Adrian's lawyer approached me in the hallway. My client is willing to accept a plea deal if you agree to certain terms in the divorce settlement. No deals, I said flatly. He goes to trial. They all do. Every single person who conspired to destroy me will face full consequences. You're making a mistake. You could get monetary compensation. I don't want his money. I want justice. I want every woman who might encounter him in the future protected from this monster. My voice carried, and several people in the hallway nodded approval. A woman approached me afterward. Thank you, she said quietly. My ex did something similar. I drank the wine. I couldn't prove anything. Seeing you fight back gives me hope. I hadn't realized I'd become a symbol of something bigger. Women refusing to be victims, demanding accountability, breaking silence around drugging and abuse. 6 months later, the trial concluded. Adrian was convicted on all counts: attempted poisoning, fraud, forgery, identity theft. 20 years minimum. Helen got 15 as the mastermind. Caleb received 7 for his role in the forgery scheme. I should have felt victorious. Instead, I felt empty. The apartment was gone, sold to pay legal fees and restitution. My teaching job remained, thank God, but my savings were depleted. The emotional toll had aged me. My hair had started graying at 30. Dark circles permanently marked my eyes. Worst of all, I'd learned something that destroyed the last piece of my heart. During the trial, evidence emerged that Adrian had been having an affair for 2 years. With my former best friend from college, Teresa. She'd been at our wedding. She'd held my hand through my first miscarriage. The affair had started shortly after that miscarriage. While I'd been grieving our lost child, Adrian had been sleeping with Teresa. Helen had approved. Teresa came from money, from a good family, could definitely give him healthy children. That revelation broke something in me that the drugging hadn't. It wasn't just betrayal, it was calculated cruelty. Every time he'd held me while I cried about our losses, he'd been planning his exit with another woman. Tamika found me sobbing in my new studio apartment, the smallest, cheapest place I could afford. Let it out, she whispered, holding me. Let it all out. I wasted 7 years, I choked. 7 years loving someone who was destroying me the entire time. You didn't waste anything. You loved authentically. That's not weakness, it's strength. His evil doesn't diminish your goodness. But it felt like it did. It felt like my capacity to love had been poisoned, just like that wine glass. A year after the verdict, I stood in my classroom watching my students practice sign language. Little Jasmine, 8 years old and deaf since birth, signed, "I love you, Miss Shanice," with the purest smile. This was why I'd chosen teaching over higher-paying careers. These children needed advocates, people who saw their worth beyond their disabilities. Helen had mocked this choice, called it throwing away potential. But helping Jasmine read her first book in ASL was worth more than any corporate partnership. Still, the nights were hardest. Coming home to an empty apartment, no one to share dinner with, no one to laugh with. Dating felt impossible. How could I trust again? Every man seemed like a potential threat, every kindness a possible manipulation. Tamika worried I was becoming isolated, bitter. Maybe I was. The trial had revealed more horrors. Adrian and Teresa were engaged now, expecting a baby. The news had arrived via social media, a deliberately public announcement designed to hurt me. It worked. While he sat in prison, Teresa carried the child I'd never been able to give him. The irony was vicious. My mother called daily. Baby, you need to let this go. He's in prison. You won. Focus on healing. But had I won? Justice wasn't healing. Conviction wasn't closure. I'd exposed evil and protected future victims, but I hadn't recovered what I'd lost. My ability to trust, to love freely, to believe in happy endings. Sometimes I pulled out my phone and watched that anniversary video. Adrian's hand moving over my wine glass. The moment everything changed. I'd saved myself that night, but I wondered if I'd ever truly be saved from the aftermath. The classroom emptied. Jasmine waved goodbye, signing, tomorrow, with excitement. Tomorrow. Such a simple concept, such an impossible promise. I signed back tomorrow, and watched her skip toward her mother. Outside, rain fell steadily. I stood at the window, watching water streak the glass, feeling nothing but a vast, aching emptiness where love used to live. I'd won the battle but lost something irreplaceable. My faith that people could be truly known, that love could be trusted, that happy endings existed outside fairy tales. Adrian was in prison, but I remained trapped too. In memories of betrayal, in the knowledge of how easily evil hides behind familiar faces, in the devastating awareness that the person I'd trusted most had been my greatest threat. The wine sat untouched that night, but its poison had seeped into my soul anyway. I'd survived, but survival wasn't living. And I wasn't sure I remembered how to do that anymore. If you've experienced betrayal or manipulation in relationships, know that survival is the first step. Healing comes with time and support. Don't let someone else's evil steal your capacity for joy. Share your story, support survivors, and remember, their cruelty reflects on them, not on you. You deserve better. Always. Like and subscribe if this story resonated with you. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you experienced betrayal? How did you heal? Let's support each other. New stories every week. Hit that notification bell so you never miss one.